It's a good one. But first, we have a satsang this Sunday, March 24th. Come have fun. Maybe you'll meet some higher level people. My first mentor I had when I was 15, 16. He was so good. He was so good for me. I wouldn't be here today. I just wouldn't be here. He didn't give me any techniques and tell me like, go stand on your head for 20 minutes a day or nothing like that. He gave me understanding because I'd bring him stuff like my perception of the world and their perception, the world's perception of me. Yeah, that was the problem. My perception of the world just is what it is. But I would tell him, like, look, man, like, I can't like fit in anywhere. At that time, I was in high school and also working. Like, I can't like nobody gets it. Like, I'm not trying to mess with them on any level because I'm aware when I'm trying to mess with somebody. I'm not doing it. I'm actually trying to connect with them. I'm trying to tell them certain things or share like how I see something. And it's very clear to me. It doesn't even take any effort. I just see like when this happens, like, why did the people do that? Why does this person, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something like at that age when I was, hanging out, or maybe let's do the job. That's an easier example. Like when I ask the boss a question because I want to understand my job better because I'm not good at those jobs. I don't know how to do them. Because it's like my brain doesn't work in that way. My mind was always, the channels of creativity were open. But even that was a very small niche. I don't know how to draw and I don't know how to, I was a good writer and speaker. That's what I could do. So these other channels, as far as channels in the mind, tactile skills, technical skills, details, man, I sucked. I didn't know how to do it. I was like Rain Man. And so I would go to the boss and say, like, you asked me to put these videos back on the shelf, but like in alphabetical order. But it seems like they were none of them were in alphabetical order. Like, so I don't know where to put them. You want me to like, I don't know, go through the whole thing and make everything in alphabetical order? And then the boss, he wouldn't answer me, right? Things like that. I would ask questions and I wouldn't get answers. Worse than that, I would get like dismissed. I would get punished. Non-verbal punishment. That's the thing. That's what I'd get. And I'd get that in school and I would get that in jobs. And I'd get that in everywhere. So my mentor, he said, look, man, this is the thing. He said, you have a high level of awareness and sensitivity. He says, man, you're on the wrong planet. I mean, you're here for a reason. You'll find that out later. But like, you're not here. You can't fit into this planet. It's impossible. You need to stop trying. You need to understand, man, these people you're talking to, they got no idea what you're talking about. Even if they smile and they have no idea what you're talking about. Not from the level that you're perceiving and coming from. They got no idea. When he told me that, it was like this low self-esteem, this feeling of self-worth, low self-worth, it like just crumbled. He told me what intuitively I already knew, but I was too young to kind of stand with it. I needed somebody, adult figure, to like tell me something like that. But all the adult figures were telling me the opposite. That'll start to give you brain damage after a while. But then God hooks you up, you see. Sends you somebody, and he straightened all that out. And then that was a big deal. And then I got mad. Instead of like playing small and thinking there was something wrong, I owned my power. See, this is what we do. We go to extremes at first. And if some of you are going through this or went through this or maybe are going to go through this, it's okay. It's part of the whole rebalancing, act that consciousness has to do. So I went from like feeling like, God, what's wrong with me? I'm like no good, to the opposite end after he confirmed what I knew. And then I I would just cuss you out like that. If I sensed at all that you were belittling me, verbally or non-verbally, oh man, okay, it's on now. And I was a master with my tongue. I was a master at, I could hurt people with my words, like really bad. I'd cut them, right? Because we have sensitive perception. You can see these little YouTube trollers. Some of them have high degrees of awareness, and they're using it for, like I was, in a negative way. They cause some creators to get all discombobulated. I like that word, right? But then they try it on me too, and I laugh at them. I'm like, bro, I know that, I know where you're at. You haven't yet. It's like you're resentful at having this higher level of awareness, and all that entails. And then you listen to people, and it's safe when you're behind the keyboard, and they'll say something that provokes you or stirs you up, and then you're gonna use your higher faculties to try to like hurt them. Why? Because you want them to feel the same pain you're feeling. And it works on most people, unless it's somebody who knows that stage. That's what I'm saying. So I would make these people pay, and then that caused me a lot of trouble, man. I don't know how I didn't get killed. I think if I went through that at this time and age, with all the guns now and the knives, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'd be here, because I was a wreck. So, you see, I went from both extremes. Nothing to, oh man, that's why I like the Scarface line. You want to F with me? Nah, you don't. That's how I was. So then in time, you go to both extremes, then you come back into a balance. That's evolutionary process. What are you going to do? You're going to force that? You can't force it. So you be aware. If you intuitively resonate with what I'm sharing and think that applies to you, not think, feel that applies to you, and it feels like you're being like punished for being higher level, then let these words do something for you. Let this energy that's being conveyed, maybe just see what happens. Let it do something. There's all different levels of evolution here. It's like if you got the apple tree and there's, I don't know, 20 apples on the tree, most, let's say it like this anyway. This is how it works on this plane. Maybe the apple tree's different, but just listen to the analogy. Let's say there's 20 apples. 80% of them, they're not ripe. They're not ripe. They're like green and in between, like they're young in consciousness. And then a very small percent, they're like getting more ripe, like quick, like they're riper. This is how the human plane is. There's a small percent. There's a statistic, right? If you're into business, something like only 5% of any field is really like full on or elite or authentic. Yeah, it's just the way it is at this time and age. Well, you can apply that across the board. Spirituality, same thing. Everything. Every field, it's like that. There's a small percent of people who are actually, you could say, old souls. So those, and then there's other words, indigo children, and I don't care much about words. I'm pointing to something. Those people have a hard time, man. They want to lock you up, feed you pills, especially when you're younger, and then you're helpless and you can't do nothing about it. So then it's like, why, God, did you put me here in this situation? And this is why I keep sharing about, some may feel like I'm making too many videos about suffering and this and that. Well, these are the people I'm talking to. I'm not talking to mainstream people. I don't have anything to say to them. I don't know. Like, they're cool. They're like good set dressing, you know? Like the Matrix needs set dressing, then it needs the actor, you know, it's all good. But like, there's plenty of teachers, which I don't consider myself, well, I'm a sharer. Somebody I did an interview with a month ago, she says, how do you want me to introduce you? You want me to say you're a spiritual teacher? And I said, no. She said, what do you want me to say? And I was thinking. I said, I'm a sharer. That's what I do, I share. She ended up introducing my name, just me by my name and channel. So, yeah, like people, this is why, like I'm talking to those people. It's a select group. It's a small percent. I'm talking to them. Because that's what God wants to do. There's not a lot of, you know, as you know, like what are you going to do? Just click on YouTube and oh wow, they really understand me. No, you're not. It's going to be difficult if you're in this lower percentile to find people that you really connect with. Spiritual teachers or gurus or anything, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get you. You're going to make them uncomfortable. And you're going to be like, wait a minute though, they're supposed to be a guru, but yet I can sense energetically they're uncomfortable. How did that happen? Yeah, welcome to this planet when you're an old soul. That's how it happens. And, so something has to claim, you claim and be who God made you to be. There's a reason that you have a higher level awareness. We could break it down on technical level and say, well, you've been here, done this, you know, countless times, so somehow you're not so identified with this whole show like mainstream people. Hence the term old soul. But still, you're here. Okay, there's a reason to be here. I'm making another video. Yeah, I'm going to touch on that there. Your reason to be here is, I'm going to tell you in the next video. All right, I'll see you guys Sunday. Let me know how you liked the video. And just don't expect your life to be any different than it is. Your life will become different than what it is when you stop demanding it and expecting it. And like, you have to understand you're in the wrong planet, but it's also the right planet because you're here. There's super tremendous growth opportunities for you to be. That's why you're here. You're burning karma on a subtle level. You're being refined on a subtle level. This is why you're here. You don't need to learn like the obvious lessons like a lot of mainstream people do. You've been there, done that. You're fine tuning now. You know, God has you in the fire. He's fine tuning you. This is why you're here. Something in you knows that. You have to cooperate with that. And yeah, some days you're gonna feel like you're going to forget. Okay, yeah, I know, because it's hard. It's special forces training. I made a video about that. All right, I'll see you guys.